What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am very excited to talk to you guys about all of the items that I picked up from About Face. I did make 2 orders for all of this stuff, one order from Ulta and the other order from the About Face website. I will have both websites down below, as well as all of the items that I will be talking about today will be listed and linked down below in the corresponding location that you can actually find them. So feel free to check out down below. Some of those links may be affiliated. If you shop through them, I appreciate it. Otherwise, no worries. So I'm not going to do too long of an intro today. Of course, this is the final look, and I will have the look towards the end of the video. But as I like to do in some of these kind of really important first impression situations, I like to really break down each product, talk about the products, all of that, give some B-roll, all of that jazz. So if you're interested in all of that information, let's get to it. Alrighty guys, so depending on the brand, depending on the amount of products that I pick up, I generally like to do kind of a full-on super detailed situation. And so that is going to happen today because I pretty much did a full face, or at least one product from each category that this brand currently has in their collection. First things first, I want to go ahead and start off with the blend tool. I do want to just point out that I have already done my tutorial, clearly. So some of these products are of course dirty. But the first thing I want to talk about is the blend tool. Now this is a velvet soft touch sponge engineered to gently blend primer or makeup evenly on the skin. Fingertip pocket allows for precise application to every angle. It is latex free and it's antimicrobial. It says for usage to lightly wet sponge with water and squeeze out excess, then glide gently over the skin to smooth seamless coverage. I guess I then applied this incorrectly because I was tapping. I guess you're supposed to glide. Interesting. Okay, you learn more as you get more information. This is recyclable and it comes in this packaging. You guys will have seen the B-roll, and this is it with it wet. I do have footage at the beginning of the tutorial part where you can see it when it was dry and then to when it was wet. So yeah, really cool invention and technique and product. I wish I had read the very last sentence of the usage part, then I would have known to actually swipe it on. I will take the time to learn more with this product in the future, but you will see that I definitely did use that product in my tutorial today. The next product I want to go ahead and talk about is their Light Lock powder. Now this is their silky smooth powder that transforms into a see-through glass finish while emitting a high beam glow, shimmer, reflect, and intense. A truly multi-chrome powder. This is vegan, cruelty-free. It is formulated without gluten, phthalates, parabens, or synthetic fragrances. And it has a 9-month shelf life. It is recyclable, and let's see, does it tell me how much product? There are 8 grams or 0.285 ounces on this product, and that's a really short shelf life. Let me just show you guys what the actual packaging looks like. Okay, there you go. It is that mirrored front. There is an actual mirror inside, and then this is the actual powder. So I'm just going to go ahead and swatch the powder for you all. It does have that smooth feel to it, and this is the powder on my skin. As you can see, it blends in nicely. It is a pinky peachy shade, which is right up my alley, and I used this shade all throughout my look today, so you will see it multiple times in the look to see really what it does in different parts of the look. Then we have the eyeshadow primer. So this is their smoothing eyeshadow primer, or they call it the Shadow Fix. Let's see if there's information on it. Yep, so this is an eyeshadow primer built to lock down pigment for the long haul. Formulated to prevent creasing and fading, smooth on a touch under shadow to increase its vibrancy. It's beaming made easy. This is vegan and cleanly formulated. It is made in the USA. It is a 9-month shelf life. It is vegan. It is PETA approved. The carton is 100% post-consumer recycled content, and it is recycled. Let's see. And there are 12 milliliters or 0.405 fluid ounces of product. So I showed you guys the B-roll of the actual packaging that this thing comes in. And then the actual eyeshadow primer is in this very, very simplistic gray packaging. Super basic, nothing really unique with it. It comes with a doe foot and, you know, the well, and I will just swatch it. It's really nothing to see, but just in case you're interested. And it comes out clear like that. And like I will tell you guys in the tutorial, there is like a kind of silicone-ish slip to it, but there's not a lot. So it's like it's not as dry as like the Urban Decay, but it's also not as slippy as the Smashbox eyeshadow primers. So yeah, that's that. And once again, I do use that in my look today. So for whatever reason, one of my matte fluid eye paints actually came in this plastic container, where the other one actually came in one of these random unnecessary reflective bags. I don't know which one is maybe the newest or what, but that's what happened. So let's talk about these matte fluid eye paints for just a second. These are their liquid eyeshadows, and they say that they deliver a one swipe punch of color and comfortable long-lasting wear. Creamy, water-resistant formula allows time to blend before locking down as a crease-free, smudge-free matte finish. It is vegan and cleanly formulated. It is PETA approved, 12-month shelf life. It is recyclable, and once again, this particular product or packaging is 100% post-consumer recyclable content. And let's see, are these made in the USA? This is made in Italy. Both eye paints are made in Italy, and I think both of them have that 12-month shelf life. Yeah, so I don't distinctly know why one is what, but yeah, if you're wondering, these particular like aluminum looking bags, they are postable and will disappear without a trace, with no contribution to the earth's plastic waste. This bag is industrially compostable. Check for your local facility for disposal. So that's really nice. And yeah, so these are the two eye paint shades that I picked up. Very bold, you know me. And if you're wondering, it does say about face on the front. They both have this doe foot that comes out of a well, and I will just swatch them both so that you can see them on my skin. All right, so these are them both on my skin, and yeah, these are them swatched out. So this green one is in the shade Smoke Signal, and the purple one is in the shade New Karima. So really pretty shades. They're also what's on my eyes today. You will be seeing them applied, blended, all of that jazz today in just a second after I finish blabbing about all of these products. Did I say how much product is in both of these? I don't think I did. There are 4.5 milliliters or 0.15 fluid ounces of product in both of these products. So kudos there. Okay. Then we have a shadow stick. So a shadow stick is also in one of these plasticky bag situations. I didn't do B-roll because I just didn't think that my camera could catch this really nicely. So unfortunately, you guys get to look at my face reading the information. So this is an insanely pigmented one stroke eye cream in is bulletproof for staying power of 10 hours. The shadow sticks are available in matte or pearly. This is a vegan, cruelty-free, formulated without gluten, phthalates, parabens, or synthetic fragrances. So this product, let's see, is vegan. It is animal test free. It has a 24-month shelf life. It is made in Germany. And once again, this packaging is compostable, all that, the same stuff that I said before. Let's see, it has 1.2 grams of products and 0.042 ounces of product in here. So this is in the shade Pearly. Is that the shade? I think the shade is Pearly. And what is Chaos Theory then? I'm so confused. No, it is a pearly shadow stick and the shade is Chaos Theory. Okay, we're getting there. And of course, you guys know I had to pick out the yellow. I wish I could have found a matte that I enjoyed, but you guys know me and yellows are our best friends. So that is it up there. Really pretty shade. As you can see, I do have it in my look today. It's not as a full-on eyeshadow or shadow stick, but that's all good. I'm still happy to have tried this today, and I will of course continue to test it out more. Okay, I'm getting down to the thick of things. I have 3 products left, and I've lost some packaging somehow. Oh dear Lord. There it is. Okay, let's look into the Light Lock stick. So this is their highlighter stick for all intents purposes, and this is a multi-dimensional non-sticky stick, is loaded with light reflecting pearlescence that locks gently onto the skin for a glass-like gleaming glow with powerful metallic effects. It is vegan, cruelty free. It is formulated without gluten, phthalates, parabens, or synthetic fibers. It is made in Italy. It is vegan and it is animal test free. It is 12-month shelf life. It is recyclable. The shade is Reluctance, and it has 4.8 grams of product or 0.16 ounces. I forgot to do B-roll. Hopefully I remember to do that. And yeah, really pretty packaging of the actual item. At the beginning, the middle was shaking, and you'll hear that hopefully, but as soon as I rolled up the product to actually start using it, it stopped shaking. So I don't really know what happened there, but I'm happy that I was able to get my product to work without any problems. This is it on my hand right there. Extremely beautiful shade. It is like a gold peachy situation. So yeah, that's that. Once again, I do of course use this product multiple times in my look today, so you guys will see it. Do not worry. And then last but certainly not least, we have the lip products. Now each of the lip products came in these lovely tinfoil bag situations, and of course each has its own description, and I ripped through both of these bags. Let's start with the lip liner because that's the easiest one to read. So this is the Glide On Matte Liner, defines lip border for 7 hours, formulated with an uncommon mix of vitamins C and E and moisture locking hyaluronic acid spheres. Each hue twins with a paint it matte lip. It is lip color. It is vegan, cruelty free, formulated without gluten, phthalates, parabens, or synthetic fragrances. Like I said, the shade that I got is Clockwork. This is made in Germany. It is vegan and animal test free, 24-month shelf life, the compostability, all that jazz, and you get 1.2 grams or 0.042 ounces. And let's see if we can find a part of my hand that we can display this shade. You see it right above my watch. I don't think you can. Take the watch off so hopefully my camera can focus. All right, so that is the shade. That is the shade on my skin. And yeah, I will be using this today. You'll see in just a second what this looks like on me. The last thing, like I said, that I need to talk about is the matte lip color. So I picked up one shade, and this is the flexible, long-lasting matte liquid formula with a powerful pigment load that swipes on with one stroke, enduring and intense coverage delivered. It is peppermint infused, vegan, cruelty-free, formulated without gluten, phthalates, parabens, or synthetic fibers. The shade I have is Nudist Judas. This is vegan and animal test free, 18-month shelf life, the compostability of the packaging, and you get 4.5 milliliters or 0.15 fluid ounces. And I want to smell again because I don't remember. Oh, I guess that is peppermint. It's not like the best peppermint. It's honestly, it's an unnecessary amount of peppermint, but yeah. And let me swatch this so you guys can see it next to the lip liner. Okay, so this is the lip liner, or this is the lip color, and this is the lip liner. The lip liner clearly has more brown to it, and the lip color clearly has more like yellow to it, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the roundup, all of the information I feel I can give you guys when it comes to all of these products. I will have, once again, all the products listed down below. I will also go ahead and take the time to put the prices down there for you all so that you guys can know yay or nay. And I think that's it. Let's get into the tutorial. Hey guys, so stupid excited to give you guys this video, and this is with all of the items that I picked up from About Face. I picked items up from both the Ulta website and the About Face website. Not all the products that I really wanted to test out were on Ulta. That's why I kind of picked up some from either place. And I'm really glad that I actually took the time to figure out all the things that I purchased, because it's been a while. I have so much makeup sitting here in the corner. I have the Jaclyn Hill bronzer sitting here. There's been so much going on. But long story short, I picked up, I guess, a blend tool, or maybe they put it in my order for free. I don't really know the rhyme or reason, but I have it, so I'm gonna use it. And this is like their form of a sponge. So you're supposed to apply this when it has been wet with water, and it's supposed to be able to apply your primer or makeup evenly on the skin, and you're supposed to be able to kind of put your fingers in this little pouch. So I thought it'd be really cool to literally do my full face. I wasn't going to plan to. I was going to actually come on here with my base done, because there's only like color cosmetics in this collection right now, but because I have this, I'm gonna try it. But I wanted to first show you guys the size of her. This is the size of her. Really nice. It does say About Face right here on top, and it feels kind of foamy. It feels like foam. Like, think of like a I'm so weird, you know, the pool Uzis. Think of like a soft one of those, because sometimes they're soft and sometimes they're hard, right? It's a soft version. Anyways, I'm gonna go with this so that we can try to apply my makeup with it. This is exciting. I just threw it. Give me 1 second. Okay, so to answer my own pure curiosity, it did get bigger. You can see I have a lot more room in the hand pocket. And just to show you guys, if you were paying attention to like its association to my face, it definitely did get bigger. So that's nice, and it still feels nice and soft. Now, I'm not going to apply my primer with that. I always like to use my fingers just to really make sure that I actually put my primer in fully and blend her all in. This is the Milk Makeup oh my gosh, why am I blinking? This is the Milk Makeup primer that's in my project pan. What is this thing called? Blurring Hydro Grip. Good gracious. So I just put on the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I did about 1.5 pumps. Sometimes I do 1.5 pumps, sometimes I do 2 pumps. It just depends on how froggy your girl is feeling. So for today, my foundation is still going to be Project Pan. It is my full spectrum Covergirl Matte Ambition in the shade Deep Neutral 2. I really need to take some of you guys' advice and use either a makeup brush or buy the right type of spatula, because this is getting old real quick. But I'm gonna apply a good amount to my face. And if you're wondering when the pump was working, I was using about 2 pumps. No, not 2, I'm sorry, 3 pumps to do my full face, and I felt like that gave me a good like medium to full coverage. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and, I guess, tap. Doesn't say on the instructions how we're supposed to actually use it to get the product into the skin. I guess I could scoot in closer, huh? That might be helpful. Okay, so that is it applied. I guess it could be smart to do the other side with my sponge, huh? This is not my favorite sponge, but this is the Sonia Kashuk one. I don't think there's a genuine difference between this side and this side. I would be interested to try this type of product with powder. I know a lot of people use that, what is it, beauty blender product to put in their powder. And so this kind of seems very reminiscent, but off tip, it seems like this product genuinely is used for kind of cream products, but I would love to try it for that. Anyways though, I think overall both sides look very similar. I don't think there is really a difference, so it just kind of depends on what you like to use for application. Concealer, we're going to go ahead and use my LYS. This is currently in my project pan. It's fine. It applied it nicely. I don't think it took away any extra coverage than I would have seen taken away with like a normal sponge. So I definitely would say check it out if you're interested. But I think I'm going to be more interested to try that with actual powder. Okay, so I just had a mini heart attack. I couldn't find like half of the products that I was supposed to have, but I decided I was just going to go ahead and try the powder on the sponge like I normally do. So with my normal sponge, I will actually use the wet side that doesn't have an additional product to do it. Clearly I didn't do it with this, but like, that's okay. I'm just curious if I can really use this as an alternative to a sponge in all of the ways that I use it. And so far, this is applying the powder as I'm used to it, if not better. Because I can only pick up so much powder, and I really can forcefully push it in with my fingers. And I did put on a cream bronzer. Today I put on the Fenty Beauty cream bronzer, which is also in my project pan, in case you were wondering. 100%, I am enjoying this a lot more than I thought I could be enjoying that type of product, which is good. Let me just finish setting the rest of my face. So there is no powder bronzer or any form of powder that I can use as a bronzer, so I'm just going to speed through that again, just using project pan. For me, if I don't use any form of powder bronzer, it just doesn't feel like my face is complete. So I realized that I didn't have any bronzer, any blush, and I also just wanted to really play with this sponge thing. I'm absolutely loving the sponge. I'm just gonna really quickly apply the lip products. I got the lip set off of the About Face website, and the lip liner is in the shade Clockwork, and the lip paint is in the shade Nudist Judas. So I'm just gonna apply those really quickly. Okay, so this lip combination is not bad. if you were a lighter complexion, and I don't think it's bad for me either. I just don't necessarily like this lip liner with this lipstick. I think that I need a darker lip liner. Okay, so I think even just that little bit of lining with this darker lip liner, which is strictly brown, is a lot better. This one happens to be from Dominique Cosmetics, and it is in the shade Nudie. It is a brown, it is lighter than my complexion, but it still just helps. I felt like these two were just a little too on for being the right color, because these are so much lighter than my complexion and such a strong like yellow undertone, but I love the color. I just needed a different lip liner to really get it to work with my skin tone. Okay, let's zoom all the way in and let's get started. So I wanted to finish up my base really quickly before we really dive into the eyes. And the first thing I want to try is the highlighter stick, and they call this the Light Lock stick. I have this in Reluctance, and this is reluctant to open. Okay, so the actual product in here is a little shaky, so that's questionable how, you know, oh, it's not as shaky now that I opened it. Okay, whatever. Well, it looks like a nice like brown, like that. It's a nice like gold, so I'm just gonna okay, so this does not have a lot of slip in the actual product. And so actually, I think it might be nice to try it with like a sponge type product. And so since this whole video has pretty much been with this sponge, I'm gonna try it with this one. Yeah. So that is beautiful. If you're wondering, I always try and tell you guys, I have natural daylight in front of me and I have a ceiling light in the back, but this is outstanding for a cream highlighter. Like I said, the actual product does not have a lot of slip, so you do need something to kind of get that product to move and kind of blend in, but it didn't take much. I felt like it blended in really nicely. I also got a powder highlighter. I couldn't help it, and I believe I got both of these from the website. I will try my best to link in the corresponding locations of where I was able to pick this stuff up down below, but this is their Light Lock, and this is their powder in Stay in Bed. So I got a clean highlighting brush, and I do like this kind of teardrop shape brush, and I'm just going to put this on top of that cream highlighter, and it definitely dulled down that gold. It's really, really pretty. And from what I can tell, it looks a little bit more pinky, which is a little bit more up my alley than the gold highlighter. I don't typically like a straight up gold highlighter. That is a beautiful combination. Very nice combination. And if you're wondering, I did put setting spray on my skin, but it had already dried by the point of me doing that, because there's a lot of background noise today, so I had to take some time in between filming. So anyways, now it is time to do my eyes. So like I said, eyeshadow primer from About Face, and I believe they only have one, so I just picked up the shade or the formulation that they had, and I don't know how much product to put on, so that's interesting. It is a clear product. It feels like there's a bunch of silicones in this. If you are familiar with the Smashbox eyeshadow primer, I would say it's similar to that in feel, although in my opinion the Smashbox had even more slip. This one just has enough, but then again, I don't think I put on as much primer as I used to when I used to use the Smashbox, because I actually did finish that. Fun fact. Okay, so 3 more products left. I have a shadow stick in the shade Pearly, and I have 2 of the fluid eye paints. So these are 3 shades. I don't know what I thought I was getting into with this, but we're gonna try and have some fun. We're gonna try and have some fun, because that is what makeup is about at the end of the day. So what we are going to do is I need to find a decent brush, and of course I want the darker shade on the outer V. So I'm going to take this one, which is Smoke Signal, and I'm just going to do that. So 3 little dots, and I'm going to try and just work this on this outer area and blend. Different cream shadows warrant different application methods, but for me, if I'm going to use a cream shadow, I need it to have, to some extent, some blendability and be able to just work really as a cream base, as a eyeshadow by itself, all of that stuff. Okay, so I don't think this is doing half bad. It would be nice to blend out this edge a little bit more, but I think it's already pretty much set. I don't really know. I can't really see. Let's get a mirror. Oh no, I think that's actually pretty blended. Actually, I think that looks not bad at all. You know, and it feels as though it's nice and set, which isn't bad. There may be some like slightly difference in the shade, like in this middle point, but it's not terrible. I've definitely had worse cream shadows where I couldn't even get a decent opacity of colors. So not terribly mad at that. And there pretty much is no product on my brush, which is good. That means that pretty much all of the product stayed on my eyes and just kind of blended. Now what I want to try and do is put the purple on the inner corner, and this is New Carina, I think. So I'm going to try and get this in this inner corner, or this inner crease, and slightly on the lid. I may have to put some more product. Oh, interesting. That definitely went cooler than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be that warm purple that you see in the first place. Maybe it's because of the brush. Maybe I should have changed brushes. Try and change brushes real quick. Nope, it's definitely that. It's definitely the product. Okay. It definitely went cool on me. I was not expecting that. Okay. But is it? Huh. Definitely not what I was expecting at all. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Okay. Okay. I think I'm actually going to repurpose this highlighter and try and apply it kind of in the middle of this. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. So let's just play. So let's try and apply this in the middle. Okay, so this is just in the middle, and that, this looks good. It looks like I actually had a plan when I picked up these products. And I'm not gonna really fully go from end to end, but that looks beautiful. It looks really nice. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. Now, how am I gonna do my lower lash line is the real question. I'm gonna try to do like a dollop there. It's pretty much on my lashes instead of being on my, oh gosh, on my thing, but it's okay. Okay, let's start with that one. Okay, I don't want to bring this down any farther, so I'm not going to really blend anymore. I kind of want it to dry, and then I'll try and blend the edges. And I'm just going to do the same exact thing with this in the inner corner. For my inner corner, I'm actually going to use the cream highlighter, and I want to kind of add that as a base to really get some brightness in this corner. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go into the powder highlighter one more time, but just put it on top of that base. Okay, last things last. And I have this shadow stick, and I'm sure the main purpose is to use as a base for eyeshadows, but clearly I've already done that step, right? So I think what I'm going to do is actually try and build a wing with this and actually put this in my waterline as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to speed up because it's probably going to take me a while, and there's so much background noise going on today that I'm sorry, I just can't do it at normal time. So yeah, let me just get through this. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. And yeah, okay, first things first, of course, if you're wondering, lashes today is my Miami's. I felt like today was just a day to really pull out the big guns, okay? So I pulled them out, loving them just like I used to. And I need to figure out if those are like an exclusive style to that collection or if those are literally the same Miami lashes, because if they are, I need to buy more. I've been holding off actually using those because I love them so much. Okay, let's go over all of the things that I used from About Face today. So as for the sponge, I absolutely adore this sponge so far. I think it was definitely worth the money. I don't even know how much money I spent on it, and I definitely think it was worth the money. The idea that I could use this product for everything that I already used a sponge for, and the fact that I felt like it actually pushed my powder in even more than I felt like my Sonia Kashuk has been doing lately. I just really enjoyed the application method, and I think I could also use this just dry to push in powder or even kind of blot as people are doing with that beauty blender blotting kind of equivalent. So I'm extremely happy to have that. I can't wait to get more use out of it, to see more about what it works with and what it doesn't work with. So 10 out of 10 on that. Highly recommend you either getting that or looking into it. The next thing I believe that I tried is their light lock stick. Absolutely love this. I think that this by itself worked beautifully, but this as a base worked beautifully as well. You saw it not only with it on my cheeks, but also in my inner corner today. And I think it just did really, really nicely. It's unfortunate that I believe this product is actually not available at Ulta. I feel like their whole collection should be available at Ulta, but that's a horse for another color. Really, really enjoyed this product though. I enjoyed how it laid down. I would love to test it out even further to see if it works under powders. I predominantly mainly use my cream products on top of powders, but I know some people don't. So I will be testing it out further to see if it'll actually work under powder, so that you can get it multi-use, but really like it nonetheless what I've seen. As for the highlighter, I think the highlighter is okay. I don't think this is like a must-have reach for product, but I definitely wanted to try it out. I think it definitely worked with the cream product, and it beautifully worked with my eye look, but you could tell it's not like super pigmented, super blendable. So you're definitely going to see some skin if you apply this as a highlighter by itself. I still have to test it out. As I said, this is a first impression, but as of right now, I don't think this is something that I would say you have to pay the money for. I would say if you want to know between the two highlighters, go for the cream highlighter. I think that one was the most jaw-dropping. The only problem I guess with this one is I didn't really particularly love the colors, which is why I bought that powder one, because I definitely knew I wanted the powder to kind of go on top of it. It's not that this is a bad color, it's just not a preferable color for me, although I believe this was supposed to have some form of peachy tone to it, but to me I only saw gold on my skin. So that's that. Then the primer. So the eyeshadow primer, I actually really like this. It was very much a dry eyeshadow primer, even though it had that silicone base. And I think because of the texture in the formulation of this works really good under cream eyeshadows. So I think I'm actually going to try this under the famous House Labs cream eyeshadows that I've tested out before, because I could not get those to work, and I still have yet to really get them to work. And if I can make them work with this, you know, then I can use the product that I picked up and I spent my money on. So I really like this so far. I obviously want to try it out not only under creams but also under powders, etc, etc. So stay tuned. But so far I am enjoying this, and so far I would say this is the best eyeshadow primer I have found that actually works with cream eyeshadows. Now granted, they're all in the same range, so I don't really know if it's just because they're in the same range or what, but so far this is the best primer that I found to work with cream shadows. Take that as you will. Then for the two fluid eye paints, I think these are some of the best eye paint products that I have found. Yes, I love my Danessa Myricks cream color fixes, but the thing about those is that those are meant to be cheek and eye, right? So you already knew they were going to come with that pigment, you already knew they were going to come with that blendability. I find when you get an eye paint-ish product, the pigmentation and the blendability can be quite sketchy. I don't really know why, but in my experience it has been, and this has been one of my favorite formulas. Now I have seen one or two people, I believe, use this formula but try to put it on top of powder. I typically am not going to use a cream shadow that way. That's just not my my want of use. I would want to use this by itself or as a base. So that is really how I'm going to use it. I will be testing it out in the future to see if it can be mixed with eyeshadows that are you know, powder, but for me, I just genuinely expect to use these by themselves or as a base. But so far, loving them. I think that they came out really nicely, and although the purple was not the shade that I was expecting, I still think that this whole look came out beautifully. On top of that, this shadow stick, I didn't expect it to be able to get as much pigment on top of these products as it did, so kudos to it. Obviously I didn't use it for its original purpose, which is for a legitimate kind of base situation, but I do look forward to using this more as a base, especially like combining this with my Project Pan eyeshadow from my Viseart Dark Mattes palette. I feel like this will actually bring out a little bit more of that yellow, whereas when I put that by itself, it comes out a little bit more orangey. But regardless though, very excited for this and to learn more. I would caution you on putting this in your waterline. I felt a little tingles, okay, on both eye after I put them on, but I already did it. I have sick leave, thankfully, so if I can't open my eyes tomorrow, I'll use my sick leave. But yeah. Yeah, good things for that. So far I'm enjoying it. I haven't tried it for its true purpose though, so I can't really tell you yay or nay on that. As for the last thing I've talked about, which is the lip products, I think they're fine. This is extremely creamy lip liner, so if you are not about that life, I would not say check this out. This lip color, it felt super constricting when I first put it on. Now that I've had it on for, I want to say, about an hour, it's taken me quite some time to film this video, it doesn't feel as drying on my lips. That said, I am just thirsty, so who knows, we'll see, but I would love to see how this lasts, etc, etc. That said though, this combination of this particular lip liner and this lipstick would not recommend for somebody who is my complexion or darker. It just doesn't make any sense. Somebody of a lighter complexion, they may be able to see the difference, but for me, it was just useless. For me, I would say definitely just get the lip color if you're interested in lip color, but keep that dark brown lip liner that you're used to for whatever shade, whatever brand. Stick with that and just pick up the lip color. Like I said, I don't think the lip color is bad, but definitely not a high ticket item. So if I had to pick out my high ticket items, and I'm gonna narrow it down, so I talked about 4 items overall in this video, so let's talk about my top 4. Let's do that, right? So first, definitely the eyeshadow primer. I think this is a really good add to my cart and to my versatility and my collection overall. Extremely happy about that. Same with this light lock stick. Highly excited to get more use out of her. Then of course we have to talk about the eye paints. I just had a lot of fun and ease of use when using these. I don't feel like though I had any trouble applying them. Yes, it took me a little while to figure out pigmentation wise how much to apply in certain areas for certain parts of my eye, but other than that, no difficulty at all. And of course you guys know what this last item is going to be, right? You know. It is definitely this little sponge tool kit and caboodle. Loved it. Loved it. I used both sides. This side I ended up using actually for the cream highlighter in the event that you didn't notice that I flipped it over, and then this side I used it for my foundation, concealer, and my powder. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I hope all of the information that I was able to provide throughout this video was super helpful for anybody who was still interested in checking out About Face. I would definitely recommend checking it out, even if you only pick up the items that are available at Ulta. I just feel like this is a brand to really take note of, because this is one of my favorites so far, brands that are celebrity owned. Like, I just haven't had a good experience with a lot of these celebrity famous person owned brands. This one I have. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I will see you guys in my next one, which I'm sure is going to be in a day or two. Alrighty guys, bye.